Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Shauna and I have 5 kids. One of them is already graduated, 2 of them I'm currently homeschooling, and my last 2 are 3 years old and 6 months. So this is our Summer of Curriculum Reviews series, and today I'm going to be doing a review and flip through a Mystery of History Volume 1 for you guys. And then on Friday, I am going to try to have up Master Books Story of the World Volume 1 for that as well. So I'm going to flip around the camera and give you guys a look inside. Alright you guys, so let's start with the student book flip through. So at the time of filming, you can get this book as well as 2 student atlases, and then I believe it's another 3rd book called History Through the Ages, for $156 on the Mystery of History website. If you don't want all of the bundled books that come with this, then you can get just the book with an audiobook version as well for $79.95. Or if you're like, I just want just the hardback book, you can get that for $68.95 on Christian Book's website. Now when you open it up, you're going to see a table of contents. It's going to go over everything that your child will be covering each and every single week. They do have this blocked out into 2 different semesters, 4 quarters all around. This is a kindergarten through 12th grade curriculum. It goes 36 weeks long with a total of 108 lessons. This curriculum is designed to be done 3 times a week. This is a Christian world history curriculum, and the author uses the New King James Version for any scripture that you find throughout the book, and she does approach history from a young earth perspective. Now, the book comes with a digital companion guide that has pre-tests, hands-on activities, timeline directions, map exercises, quizzes, literature lists, and so much more. This is a really well-equipped curriculum. It gives you enough to do as little or as much as you want, and gives you lots of different ideas to go along with it. Now, as far as the companion guide, there is a code in the beginning of the book that allows you to access it, and you can print it from there. I'll do a flip through of that at the end of this flip through just so you guys can see inside. I'm not going to flip through the entire thing just because it is about, I think, 587 pages. So I'm just going to go through what 1 week looks like for you guys, as well as the pre-test and the quiz. Now, each lesson in this book is going to be anywhere from 2 to 5 pages long, and that's really nice because it's blended not only with information, but as you can see, beautiful pictures to help keep your kids engaged. I also like that it's not information overload. There's enough information to learn and still want to follow up with different activities and read alouds, versus having to read half the day and you are just so done by the time you get to any of like the fun parts that you just don't want to carry on with the lesson. Another nice aspect of this curriculum is that you can purchase audio files, so you can pop that on and hear the lessons. And I know for me that's a huge plus because sometimes it's like we're reading so much every day that by the end of the day I'm just sick of hearing my own voice. I don't want to carry on. I just kind of want to go to the bedroom and have some downtime. Maybe you're not like that at all. Maybe you're an extroverted mom, but I can appreciate the fact that they have audiobooks. And plus, you know, it makes it easier if you're traveling a lot, you're running to co-ops and stuff, you can pop that on in the car and get homeschooling done without feeling like you're even doing homeschooling. Now, it is recommended to have the Student Bible Atlas and the Historical Atlas for the world, and I'll go ahead and show you guys those as well at the end, like I mentioned. There is another atlas that they recommend accessing, but it's online and they give you the website to it. Now, one of the fun things about this curriculum as well is they have a Go Fish game that pairs with the curriculum, and it helps your child to learn and retain some of the history facts that they're going over. Now, as far as how to use this curriculum, they recommend using pre-tests at the start of each week to help see what your child already knows or pique their interest for what they're about to learn. In order to keep it light and fun, they recommend that these not get graded. So the lessons are written in a chronological format, and they suggest that your child keeps a timeline that they make either in a notebook or something that they can hang on the wall. Each quarter will start with a short around the world overview to introduce what they will be covering in that quarter. And like I mentioned, this is a kinder through 12th grade curriculum, but as far as independent reading difficulties go, volume 1 is designed for a 4th to 5th grade level, and then each volume after that jumps about 2 grade levels. Now, for activities, they have something for every age group. So younger students, I'm guessing they consider that around 12 or kindergarten to 5th, 6th grade. They are encouraged to do hands-on projects, reenactments, play games, while the middle school students are encouraged to reassemble the material in a creative way or research things further that interest them. And then high school students are challenged with additional research, discussion, and analysis projects. And then at some point, you bring everyone together for games, meals, and different field trips that pair with what you're learning about. One of the things that I thought was pretty cool is that for high school students who are in the level 4 book, they do offer online classes that are taught directly from the author herself. Now, some of the additional activities that you can expect is they suggest that students create homemade memory flashcards, as well as the timeline that I mentioned earlier, and they use these items to help them review. It is suggested that after your 3 weekly lessons, you have a day that is focused on just review and geography to help make sure that your child is retaining what you guys are going over. All right, so we are about halfway through, or a little more than halfway through the textbook. So I'm going to give you guys a little information on the companion guide, and then I'm going to pull it over and do a flip through of that so you guys can see inside and see what a week's lessons would consist of. Now, like I mentioned, you get a code in the front of your book for the companion guide. Now, it is not reusable, so if you happen to buy this book used and that family has already used the code, then it's not going to allow you to use it a second time. If this is the case, then at the time of filming, they have on their website the companion guide that you can purchase between $39.95 and $43.95, depending on whether you want it digital or printed. I personally would recommend the printed version unless you have a really good printer or unless you have a lot of kids like I do. Now, I say that because the companion guide is actually 582 pages. I will also go ahead and link Christian Book below because they have the printed version for $38.95. When I was printing it, it took a good chunk of time. I have an Epson Inco tank. I love that printer so much, but it did take about 4 or 5 hours just to get the entire student guide printed. So if you have a printer that does not do very well with ink, or you don't want to spend that much time printing off things, or maybe you have 3 or 4 kids that are going to be using this, and for you it would just be easier to buy printed versions, then I would suggest that. I kind of wish I had purchased the printed versions myself, but it's fine. I like I said, I have my Eco Tank. It's not going to take a lot of ink. Now I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to go to the companion guide for you guys now. All right, you guys, so normally I would do an entire flip through of the companion guide, but like I just mentioned, do you see this is 582 pages? So I think we would be here for a very long time if I flip through the entire thing. So I'm going to do just a quick flip through of the beginning pages for you guys, show you what a week looks like, show you what some of the pre-tests and the quizzes look like, and then walk you through what the back of the book has and kind of how you grade if you have any high schoolers. So as you open it, you're going to get acknowledgements, and then your table of contents, so what you're going to be doing every week, what page number you can find your lessons, etc. And then there is a letter to the teacher. There is also a how to use the mystery of history, which I already kind of covered with you guys. There is going to be a scope and sequence. And now on this page, it's going to give you some sample schedules. So for younger students that are in 1st to 4th grade, it's recommended to do 2 to 3 lessons a week with 1 to 3 corresponding activities from this guide. However, if you're doing anything less than 3 lessons a week, this curriculum will go longer than the traditional 36-week, 1 school year time frame. Now, as far as the pre-tests and the quizzes, those are not necessarily recommended for these grades unless they're already strong readers. And on the next page, this is an example schedule for children who are in 5th to 8th grade. Now, for high school students, the following pages for right here and this one talks about how to count this as a high school credit and what you can add in to meet the requirements. So for example, this says that in order to count a credit, your child needs to meet a maximum of 180 hours of instruction, which breaks down about 4 to 5 hours a week. Now this curriculum takes about 2 to 5 hours based on what the author says, and that's if you're utilizing everything like the pre-tests, the lessons, the memory cards, timeline, the map activities, worksheets, and tests. Because it could potentially not help them to meet the full 4 to 5 hours depending on how fast your child may work through it, the author has additional ideas such as reading extra books with a book list that you'll find in the back of this guide and some activities. Now this page goes over methods of education, so they cover what a classical education looks like, the Charlotte Mason method, Bloom's taxonomy, and then a final reflection. Here are some ideas for your memory cards, kind of give you an idea what you should expect based on age, gives you some information on timelines and suggestions for them, how they can be used for your notebook, or your child can make something that goes on the wall. And then here's some timeline cutouts for the people that your child is going to be learning about. Now here's a sheet for grading tips and it covers younger students, middle students, and older students. It also gives you a progress report to write those grades in. And then it finally gets to semester 1, quarter 1. Okay, I hope you guys can see that a little better. So this is the pre-test. And so this is just going over what does your child know before you actually start the lesson. So it's done in a Jeopardy format. Your child will get these questions and then here are the potential answers. So I like this because it gives them the skills to start with deductive reasoning, which they're going to need throughout their life, especially in college classes. So for lesson 1, this is going to walk you through setting up a notebook and how to label the dividers. It's also continued onto this page. For lesson 2, young students are going to create their own animal out of Play-Doh, take a photo of it, and add it to their notebook. This is going over when God created the world and the animals, and so that's how you're going to engage your children with that lesson. Now for middle school, they're going to create a self-portrait to represent the lesson and how we are made in the image of God. Now for older students, so your high school students, they're going to read and discuss the book called Adam and His Kin over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Now for lesson 3, the young students, so your kindergarten through 4th, 5th grade, they're going to play a song game. Your middle school students will cover what an octave in music is, and if your child can read music, they would write out the notes to an octave. Now your older students, so like I mentioned, your high school students, they're going to research the process of making bronze or iron, and they're going to file their findings in their student notebook. All right, now I believe I already mentioned it, but I might have missed it. So at the end of every other week, your child is going to be given a quiz. Now that's more for middle school, high school ages. So let me walk you through what the quiz looks like. So This week, for example, is going to be true or false. So they're going to be given a question, circle true or false. Not all of them are true or false quizzes. Some of them are fill in the blanks and things like that. Let's go over what one of the tests look like. So the test is a little meatier. So they do have dates to memorize, and she says, I don't expect you to remember every significant date of a person or event we've learned about, but I do want you to memorize 12 of them. 2 are from this quarter. To help you with memorizing, write the names and corresponding dates I've asked you to memorize for both Abraham and I don't even know how to say that name. I'm not going to try to butcher it on camera. It's right there for you guys to read. Someone can put the pronunciation in the comments. So your child will go ahead and write those dates right there. They will have some true or false questions. And then on the next page, they will continue with their true or false. They will have some matching questions, some multiple choice, a before, after, so they'll circle the word that makes the sentence correct. It'll be a sentence and then it will contain before or after and then another statement, so your child can start to make a timeline in their mind. And then they will have people and places, so they will draw a line to connect a name listed to the second grouping of each place listed in the first grouping. And then the quiz or the quarter 1 test will end with 4 questions, and they will need to give written responses. Now, the last thing that I want to cover in here with you guys is the appendix. So in the appendix, you're going to get outline maps so you can go over geography with your child. You're going to get a supplemental book list and resources. You're going to get a Bible reading list and an answer key. Now, if you're thinking about getting the bundle, this is 2 of the additional books that come with the main textbook. I don't know where my 3rd book is. I know I have it. I just, you guys were still trying to settle in with moving. So it's basically just atlases of the world. It's nothing fancy. I just wanted to give you guys a quick peek inside. And then here is the Student Bible Atlas. So that's what you get if you get the bundle. Now, like I mentioned, they do have a Go Fish game, and this is what it looks like. Inside right here is a booklet that tells you how you will play it. And then the cards, it will look just like this. It'll say the Great Sphinx of Giza. It will give you some hints, and then it'll give you options to choose from, so your child can, like I mentioned, learn and retain some of the facts that they're going over in their curriculum. Now, as far as the timeline, you'll get these pictures to print out. One of the things that I really liked about this is they give you multiple options for printing out. So you can do it the way I did it, where you can print it out and it'll already have the description, or you can print it out so it's a blank and then you can have your child write their own description. So I really liked that. I like when things are functional and they think about everybody's wants and needs. Now I'm just going to give you guys a quick peek inside because I did purchase the coloring pages pack. My kids, they like to color when I am reading, and so I just wanted to make sure that, you know, we had whatever we would need. Now, this is recommended for sure for the younger grades while you're reading, and I believe the middle school students as well, but I mean, it's really just going to depend on your child. You know, whether they like to color, or maybe sometimes you might have a child like me who they start coloring and they go to La La Land and they don't hear one word you say. So here's a peek inside what the coloring book looks like, and that is it. I am going to turn around the camera now. Alright, you guys, so that was the flip through of Mystery of History. I hope you enjoyed seeing inside, getting to learn a little bit more about it, what you can expect from it. If you are looking at this curriculum for next year, let me know down below. I would love to hear where you're at in your curriculum pick journey. If you have already used this and you have thoughts and feelings about it, whether you like it or you don't like it, let me know that down below in the comments as well. I would love to hear what you gleaned from this curriculum and if it was a joy to your family to use. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you again later on Friday with the curriculum review for Master Book Story of the World. Bye.